Hello, and welcome back. My name is Dimitri, and I'll be reading from the Cephalomunk Diaries. Today's entry is titled Stroller Baby. Subtitle: Sometimes childcare is unpredictable. If you want to see the date that this was released and the picture that's associated with, and the special little Easter eggs that they got going on, click the link down there. But for now, here is the story. And then the stroller went, whisked away by the wind. "My baby," wailed a very frail and tired middle-aged man. The baby was bubbling and giggling, clasping his little hands together, then clapping them with glee. "Someone stop my baby," cried the middle-aged man. The stroller, now approaching a comically large downhill, the eyes of the middle-aged man nearly exploded out of his head. He was sprinting so hard, large beads of sweat poured down his back, staining his pressed white collared shirt. The middle-aged man was about 20 yards away from the stroller, just as he saw it, ever so slowly, creep towards the precipice of the giant hill. He threw away his briefcase. "Baby, no!" But it was no use. The stroller and the baby took off down the hill, 5 miles per hour, 10 miles per hour, 20 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour, 75 miles per hour. This was no ordinary hill, and this was no ordinary stroller. An officer sat in his patrol car, lazily holding on to his radar gun whilst trying to get a powdered sugar off the car's computer. Then the radar gun went berserk. Holy moly! The cop sprung into action, turned on his sirens, and stepped on the gas. "What in tarnation is that?" The cop calls for backup. "I have an unidentified object going 90 miles per hour in a school zone." The hill wasn't yet over. The stroller still didn't have the speed wobbles. Apparently, this stroller was better designed than most Toyotas on the road today. The middle-aged man stood at the top of the hill in utter disbelief. He was just thinking about what the hell his wife was going to rain down upon him later. Meanwhile, in hot pursuit, a squadron of 5 cop cars were chasing after the blazing baby. The baby, meanwhile, stimulated by the rushing wind, remained cheerful and relaxed, and clapping and clasping his hands in delight. "Pull over," was commanded multiple times by the cops. Being a stroller and a baby, this command went unanswered. Then, all the way at the bottom of the hill, there was one of those trucks which hauls cars. They have those giant ramps attached. The cops all watched in disbelief. They all slammed on their brakes while the stroller went up the steep incline and launched into the air. "My God," said the cop whilst taking off his Ray-Bans. The squadron of cop cars all parked, looking out their windows, hands over their brow to block out the sun. They all sat there watching this unidentified flying through the air. The chief of police, who was in the 5th cop car, turned to them all. "We didn't see anything. We didn't hear anything. We didn't write anything down. Let's go, boys." They turned off their sirens and drove back to the station. The middle-aged man watched this all unfold in 30 seconds. How quickly his life had changed. "Well, honey," he thought to himself, "I was just strolling along, and then our baby took flight." "No," he muttered. That would enrage her more than normal. Just then, the handle of the stroller hooked onto low-flying helicopter. The helicopter was flying toward the middle-aged man. Hey! Hey! The middle-aged man shouted. The helicopter pilot, being a helicopter pilot inside of an active helicopter, could not hear these pleas, nor would he do anything if he had heard, because he could never have fathomed that there was a stroller hooked to his helicopter ski, let alone a stroller with a baby inside. At this point, the baby was not much pleased, as he was trying to understand the unreal wind being blown directly upon his face. He made squirming faces, then a single, solitary shriek. The helicopter pilot was so startled by the sound, he momentarily jolted the controls, and the stroller dislodged and started to fall towards the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man couldn't believe his luck. Yes! The stroller landed about 6 feet away from the middle-aged man. No! Screamed the middle-aged man. The stroller and the baby were on its journey down the hill again. The middle-aged man dropped to his knees, curled up in the fetal position, and rolled himself down the hill. The end.